We have seen quite a few OREI solutions that will allow us to connect multiple multimedia streaming devices through HDMI and then act as a switch. This one right over here will go up to 8K at 60 Hz, and it has a few interesting features that I want to share with you because it makes it unique in some setups. My name is Roberto George, welcome back to the OREI's YouTube channel, and today to take a look at this awesome solution which is an 8K 60 Hz HDMI switch that is capable of accepting 4 different sources, multimedia streaming devices, gaming console, computers and whatnot, and then with a touch of a button or even using a remote control, we will be able to control it without hassle at all. One of the features that I'm excited about is that although I can connect 4 different devices simultaneously and then switch between them, it has a feature that although it's supposed to be connected at one single TV, and that's what we are going to do, it has 4 different ways of doing, which is really interesting. One of which is if our TV has eARC, then I can just use the eARC port at the back to connect to the TV, and then I'll have image and audio going through on the same exact cable. But let's imagine that I do have my TV and I also have a AV system, audio system with HDMI audio input, and I want to take advantage of that. In that particular case, I can connect the 2 cables, one to the TV and one to the audio system where it says HDMI out, audio only, and take advantage of my rich audio system. But let's imagine another scenario where I do have a TV without eARC capabilities, but I do have a sound system that has a optical input. So let's use that optical input to our sound system. Or even on another case scenario, let's imagine that we have a system which has auxiliary in through the 3.5mm jack right over here. So we can use it that way as well. And although we only have one TV, we have 4 different ways of connecting to have image and audio the best quality that we can. And if we have today a system that accepts only a 3.5mm jack, but in the future I acquire a TV capable of eARC or even a sound system with eARC or even HDMI audio input, I will be able to take advantage of that in the future. Now, if we take a look at the unboxing experience, it's really straightforward. We will find a quick user guide as usual. We will also find the HDMI 8K 4-port switch and a power adapter. Connectivity wise, we will take a look on the setup, so let's go for it. And now with a setup for the 8K 60 Hz HDMI 4-port switch, which we can use at 4K 120 Hz for those that want the multimedia streaming devices plus a PlayStation or an Xbox S or Xbox X or any other console that can go up to 120 Hz. This is a great solution, and besides the 4 HDMI inputs, we also have 4 different ways of streaming audio to our devices, which we are going to check out. Now, it's HTCP 2.3 compliant, it has HDR pass-through and a lot more. Link down below for the full specifications. And now we are going to take a look on how we can use it. At the front we can see the LEDs that will show us what is the source connected at this moment. In this particular case, source number 2, but we will switch in just a moment. And then we have also the LEDs that will show us if we are connected via out 1 or out 2. At this moment, out 1. We can also use out 2. We have the auto mode, which is being used, and we also have the eARC option. So a lot of connectivity, a lot of options that we have right over here. And then finally here at the front, we will also have the indication for the audio that we are using. It can be 2.0, 5.1, 7.1, or even pass through, and then the USB Type-C for service. And then at the back, we have the 4 HDMI inputs, and of course the audio options or image options to put out the audio and image that we have seen as well. Now, if we take a look right over here, I have one of my streaming devices connected, which in this particular case, it's the source number 2, and it is a Google Chromecast TV generation 3, so we can go up to 4K at 60 Hz in this particular case, so I can control this device, but if I want, I can just press the switch button right over here, and we will go to source number 3. Now, source number 3 is in this case a Windows computer that I've got right over there, so I can control it right over here with my mouse, having in mind that the delay that we will have will depend on the displays that we are using as well. As we know, this one takes quite time. And here we are with a Windows computer that we can use as a mini theater computer at our living room or any other situation that we want, including to have a gamepad and play games right over here. Now, if I press the switch button once again, we will go to source number 4, which is on that end, and it is a set-top box. In this particular case, with Android operating system. So if we want to have anything, and we are listening the sound to the sound bar. But right now, if I press the switch, let's go to number 1. Now, number 1 is the NVIDIA Shield TV that it's right over here. So if I want to control this particular device, I can just, and we can hear the sound, and just click right over here and control this multimedia streaming device without having to change any cables on my TV, especially those TVs that only have 1 or 2 inputs for the streaming devices that we have. And here we have up to 4. So working great, working as it should, which is to transmit all the image quality and audio that we have. So this is the button that we can use to switch from the different sources that we have, but we also have the option to use the remote control. So if I want to go to source number 2, I can go to source number 2, which is the Google Chromecast TV, and it's the device that sleeps faster. So we will need to press the button here just in case he wants to go to sleep. So here we go, back with the Google Chromecast TV. But let's imagine that I'm sitting on a couch and I don't want to cycle through 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to jump from 2, for example, and go to 4. I just need to press number 4, and there we go. We jumped from 2 to 4 using the remote control, which is one of the biggest advantages of the remote control. Now, besides being able to change the source, we can also shut it off, and we will do it in a second. We also have the option to the eARC to enable in case we are connected to an eARC capable device, and we also have the auto mode, which is already enabled. Now, let's go to number 3, which is the Windows computer, as I want to make a small test with you right over there. And besides being able to change right over here, let us shut off the device, and at this moment it is the HDMI switch. Let's turn it on. And do you remember the device that we left? It was the Windows computer, so it will remember it was source number 3, and it will turn on the last device that we had connected. So this is something really great. If I stop working on a device and tomorrow I just want to turn on, it will remember the device that I was using. Now let's go to my browser here and let's check this fellow that I don't know who it is, but if I press the button. But if you are looking for 4K at 60 Hz, there we go, 4K at 60 Hz with that particular device. Actually, it's a wireless transmitter, which is awesome, 4K at 60 Hz, and it is really surprising what we can do with these devices. But this just to show that this is one of the ways of having audio. I could have audio directly to my TV via eARC. We can have audio on the HDMI output to any audio system that supports HDMI audio inputs, and then of course the other two, which is the optical and 3.5mm jack. So we can use a lot of scenarios right over here on any device that we want. Of course, right over here we are on YouTube and Windows, but if we go to any other device that we have connected, like the NVIDIA Shield TV, for example, and if you want to watch a TV show or a football game or whatnot, you just need to select your operator or Netflix or Spotify, whatever we want to use, and instead of the sound, we will hear the sound of what we are watching in full quality, both on image and audio as well. And that's it, simple as this. We just need to connect on our setup, and in no time we will have a setup which is ready for all the devices that I've got right now and some devices that I will be able to acquire in the future. So besides being able to connect the 4 different multimedia streaming devices with these 4 outputs right over here, we can have a setup which is not exactly the same that you have and that I have. We have at least 4 different options right over here, which opens a world of possibilities. That being said, hope that this video was helpful, and if it was, don't forget the usual thumbs up right over there, which is really appreciated on this side of the screen. My name is Huerto George, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.